stated that recent talks with the United States have yielded encouraging signals. In a post on social media, Pezeshkian has said that while Iran remains committed to peace and stability in the region, the country is closely monitoring U.S. actions. He has added that Iran has made all necessary preparations for any potential scenario. The talks included the exchange of practical proposals, with Iran continuing to push for diplomatic solutions while remaining vigilant. Now we welcome retired Colonel Sanjay Sirohi. He's an international relations and defense expert, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Colonel, for joining us.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Now, looking at this, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian states that the recent talks with U.S. yielded encouraging signals. Also, his comments come very positive or warm compared to Foreign Minister Arakchi's statements from today or yesterday, where he says that any U.S. attack would they would have the right, Iran would have the right to protect themselves and attack any U.S. bases around the region. So, what do you think about this, tone, the difference in tone of the foreign minister and Iranian president, both within Iran?
Well, Asuma, thank you very much for having me on your news channel and discussing something very, very serious and important. Now, the point is that although the two rounds of talks have taken place, one in Muscat and second one in Geneva, and the third is likely to be on Thursday in Geneva itself. So there are mixed signals coming from both the president as well as the foreign minister. Whereas the president is saying that it is yielding encouraging signals, and whereas the foreign minister says that we are prepared for any eventuality, that is any military conflict, which the Americans, they try to put on Iran. So I think, to my mind, that both the parties, that is the Americans and the Iranians, they are very, very skeptical about the outcome of these talks. That's why you'll see that at one point of time they are very optimistic about the talks. And secondly, based on that only, then they start saying that we are prepared militarily to face any consequences which may come up. So I think it is both the sides are trying to buy the time. And if they are both trying to buy the time and both are preparing for the war, so let us see what happens. But I am not very hopeful of these talks which are going to come up in the next round.
Yes. And what do you think? What do you think about the current U.S. stance? For the upcoming talks in Geneva on Thursday, they haven't issued much, especially President Trump from himself.
Look, Asuma's point is that now the Americans have put up the proposals. Iranians have gone through the proposal. Now they are going to go back with the counter proposals. Now, what are the counter proposals? They have not been leaked out. Nothing has come out of that. But we know the red lines. The red line is that Donald Trump wants that the Iranians should stop enrichment, and whatever enriched uranium they have, they must hand over. That is number one. Number two, he wants that the Iranians, they must control or they must have cap on their missile program also. And thirdly, they also want that the Iran should stop supporting their proxies, that is the Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis and other this thing. So these are the three requirements. But as far as the Iranians are concerned, they are talking about that, yes, nuclear deal is okay, but what about the sanctions? So that perspective about the sanctions is totally different from the American side and from the Iranian side. That is number one. Number two, Iran may agree to give away the enriched uranium, but their foreign ministers have number of times he has said that the Iranians have got every right to decide for themselves whether they want to enrich or not. So that is the point which is going to be a very, very big point of contention between both the parties. Then regarding the missile cap, Iranians are not going to accept this. As far as the proxies, supporting proxies is concerned, Iranians may accept, may not accept. So I think there are a lot of grounds to be covered before they reach any deal. So I think we have to wait, but the time is running out. It is question of when only, because the military operations will take place. When will that take place? It is $1 million question. Asuma.
Thank you very much, Colonel Sirohi, for sharing that. Please stay with us as we come back to you. Now, we stay in Iran. Thousands of Iranian students are once again demonstrating in Tehran and across the country, marking the second day of protests following deadly nationwide unrest. The protests, which started after a deadly crackdown during the January protests, have intensified at top universities, including the University of Tehran, where clashes erupted between anti-establishment students and pro-government groups. The unrest has spread to other regions, with security forces charging at students. As Iran faces rising tensions with the US and Israel, the government has faced strong opposition, with discrepancies between state media and viral footage from student bodies. Now we welcome back Colonel Sanjay Sirohi. Thank you very much, Colonel, for staying with us. Now that the protests have erupted once again, and we saw how it was unfolding last time, which wasn't very long ago, how do you think, how cornered is the Iranian government, and also how would they try to deal with these protests to make sure they maybe to be a little more mindful about their reputation internationally?
Well, now if we see that last time when the protest started, it started from the houses, it started from the streets, it started from the market. Yes. This time the protest, there is a total difference. This time the protest has started from the university. And whenever any protest starts from university by the students, whether it was in Indonesia, whether it was in Bangladesh, or it was in Nepal, the protest is very, very serious. And the students, because being young in age, and they have got more risk appetite, so it is very, very difficult to control that. Because it is not only the students who are protesting. If anything goes wrong and if there are casualties among the students, then even the parents get involved. So I think this time it is a very, very serious issue. And why it is more serious for the Iranian government, especially from the Islamic leadership, is that the students are saying that they are anti-Khamenei regime, and they are shouting against regime. And they are saying that Khamenei is a dictator, he is a murderer. So I think this time it is quite serious. And unless in 1 or 2 days this protest is controlled, Iranian government is going to face a lot of problems, because the students, when they start off, especially when they have started from a Sharif University of Technology, which is quite a famous university, so I think the things can get worse day by day. So it is in the interest of the Iranian government to stop these protests as early as possible, speak to the students instead of using violence. They must speak to the students and try to stop the protests at the earliest. Asuma.
Yes, and also, do you think that, well, we can only speculate here, but do you think that the mercenaries or the street protesters earlier, they might join, and this might emphasize or impact or become bigger?
Exactly, that is what I said, that when the students, they come on the street, so it is not only, initially they are students only, but later on they are not only students, they are the family members, they are other people also, and there may be many more who were keeping quiet till now, but once they see students coming on the streets and shouting against the government, then I think more people are likely to join. And if more people are likely to join, then there is a problem for Iranian administration, Iranian government, because last time when they used the force, the 7,000 people, I believe, were killed during those protests. So if this protest also continues and it becomes more this thing, with large number of people join it, so I think it will become more problem for the Iranians. And with Americans sitting next door waiting for an opportunity to attack Iran, so things might be, Iran may have to fight two fronts. One, they may have to fight Americans and the Israelis, and the second, they have to fight internally against the protesters. So I think it is in the interest of the Iranian government that they must make sure that this protest come to an end as early as possible.
And Colonel, lastly, how do you analyze Israel's role and also Israel's capacity, since we know that last year during the 12 days war, Iranian missiles did penetrate through the Iron Dome in Israel?
Exactly, because now this time, last time they had fired 500 missiles, but I believe now this time they are ready with 2,500 to 3,000 missiles. Even the Iron Dome, which is the air defense system, cannot control or cannot stop all these missiles reaching Israel. So Israel is going to have very tough time. That's why the Israelis are also preparing, and they are preparing defensive. They are in defensive posture because they know that once the Americans they start hitting the Iranian missiles at other sites, at that point of time, the Iranian is going to reciprocate with more missiles on uh, all the bases of the Americans in the Middle East and also against Israel. So I think Israel is more worried. And this time the Israel will have very tough time because the Iranians are going to fire large number of missiles and drones, and they have learnt lessons from the last year war. And with those lessons, I think the Iranians will be able to destroy much more than what they did last year in 12-day war.
With that, I'd like to thank Colonel Sanjay Sirohi for joining us and sharing that insight. Thank